Vola angela o veteranu ako itabua. Ako do talitaina na barong na Bula FM nambandu na sere.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka Bula FM berarti nambandu na sere.
Ni Bula binaka, nanreke ngosa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalango samundu achiwe na Bula FM nambandu na sere nusuri.
Ni Bula binaka. Nalango Jerry yang melambasa. Do barong na Bula FM.
In the news tonight, Education Ministry steps in to salvage school grants. Elderly being taken for ride by family members. And previous misdeeds come back to haunt FSC.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Jackie Smith.
Abuse of grants by schools has seen the Education Ministry step in. Grants for 53 schools are now being managed by the Education Ministry because previously the money wasn't always used for its intended purpose. Minister Rosie Akbar says schools are on notice and audit teams will continue to go over the books. Edwin Nund reports.
Millions of taxpayer dollars are given to schools as grants under the free education scheme, but it doesn't always go towards education.
If you've been utilizing your grants for the very purpose it has been given to you, then I expect all libraries to be stocked up. I expect your computer labs to be up to date, your science labs to be up to date, because you've been given significant amounts of money specifically for that purpose. But the reality is different. The reality is very different because you prioritize science over something or sports over something else.
Speaking to school leaders and managers, Akbar stressed that under no circumstances should the teaching and learning outcomes be affected. She adds any mismanagement will be easily exposed because audit teams from the ministry are poring over school financial records.
You've been given that responsibility, and we are now under more public scrutiny than ever. Not only you, everybody, because we are in such position. Lives, so many lives. I've mentioned to you the number of children that we deal with, their welfare, the nation's welfare, of course, and you and I both know teaching is a very noble profession. But sometimes the incidences that come to us, and it makes us realize, have we lost the nobility of the profession?
Close to $359 million has been spent by the government since the free education scheme was introduced in 2015. Under the scheme, parents no longer have to pay tuition fees for children attending primary and secondary school. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
It's been revealed that family members are taking advantage of the elderly by obtaining money through undue influence and manipulation. Those taking care of the elderly under care in homes say some family members time their visits to when monthly allowances are released by the government. Kelly Vadala reports.
Many of these elderlies in state care homes get regular visitations from family members, but are these visits genuine?
We have visitations. They come in on Sundays, sometimes in the middle of the week. They come and meet them. Initially, you would see that the government was giving them allowances, and I stopped the allowances coming to these people. So once the allowances stopped, they also stopped. So we could see that the purpose of them coming was just to collect the allowance from these people.
The reality of people putting their parents under state care and only visiting for monetary benefit has sent shivers down the spine of caregivers.
They would come on the days they know that the money is being coming in, and then they would come in and take the money.
Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Women and Children, Jennifer Poole, says more than 44,000 older persons are currently benefiting from the social pension scheme.
Government has now lowered the age of eligibility for social pension scheme to 65 years of age. The government has doubled the pension from $50 to $100 per month.
The government's commitment to older persons is protected under Fiji's 2013 constitution, which provides for a wide range of socio-economic rights. These rights include rights to education, access to healthcare, housing and sanitation, reasonable access to transportation, food security and safe water, and social security schemes. Kelly Bavala, FBC News.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation's financial resources and cash flow are being strained by having to pay back loans, which were mismanaged years ago. Speaking during a press conference after the FSC's AGM in Lautoka, the board chair revealed that these loans are to be paid to the Exim Bank of India. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
The mismanagement of funds from previous years has contributed heavily to the FSC's consolidated loss of $23.1 million for the financial year ending in May this year. This compared to a profit of $800,000 last year.
And we also got money from Exim Bank of India for the upgrade of various factories. And sadly, the use of those monies has not been as diligent as it should have been. And there was mismanagement, gross mismanagement. And certainly the funds that we obtained from Exim Bank were not used properly.
Mohan says that the misuse of funds is still affecting the FSC financially because the corporation is legally bound to pay back the money owed. The board chair also noting that the FSC faces unpredictable climatic challenges, the age and condition of the sugar mills, and an oversupply of sugar onto the world market, affecting the pricing, which contributed to the loss.
But thankfully this year is going well, touch wood. I think with a bit of luck we will have far better results than last year, at least around 15 to 18% improvement in the sugar output. It is still early days. We shall wait till the season finishes, and hopefully we'll give a further update on that.
See the cane yields up year on year to date quite nicely. So that for me is reward of the fertilizer program, the weedicide program, the planting grant, etc. So we've got to keep that going, and I think if we do, that target of 2 million, 2.2 million is achievable.
Both Clark and Mohan are also encouraged by FSC's performance in the current financial year and expect better results to cushion the blow felt by the loss made in last year's books. Philip Naikaso, FBC News.
The 4-month seasonal ban from June 1st to September 30th on the Kawakawa and Donu fish officially came to an end yesterday. Ministry of Fisheries Permanent Secretary Craig Strong says for the second year running, the seasonal ban has been implemented with better awareness than the previous year. Maggie Boyle reports.
Back in the market, Kawakawa and Donu now in stock and legally for sale. The now annual ban applauded for its public awareness.
We've been particularly happy with the public response this year. We've seen a lot of support and support in not having seen a lot of the banned species in the marketplace or visible to our officers anyway.
However, there have been those who've broken the law with around 600 kilos of the species confiscated in a heist in August.
Obviously, we've had some incidents where we've seized some large quantities, and those are in the process of going through and extending those cases towards prosecutions.
The purpose behind the ban is to have allowed the fish to spawn uninterrupted, and so that declining stocks could be replenished. Now, with the ban over for those in the fish business, it means that they can get back to selling a popular Fijian staple.
We are happy that the ban has been lifted because that is one of our major sources of income.
It's happy now, it's over now. The ban is over, so we can eat the surua and the fry. A long time never eat it.
When we do line fishing, we don't choose the fish which come. When this ban was come to affected until the end of September, we were very happy.
Under the legislation, penalties for individuals and companies in breach of the law range between $10,000 to $100,000. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Up ahead, workers are safe at Kinoya plant, says Minister. And Singh Arjun says he is here to entertain. Details after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lautoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua, and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The concentration of gases from the Kinoya treatment plant continues to be a challenge for dwellers in and around the area. When asked if it poses a health risk to Water Authority officers working at the plant, Infrastructure Minister Chonio Somate says the workers are safe. Saniani Boiler reports.
Being the largest treatment plant in the country, the minister says WEF ensures that workers treating wastewater and septic tank waste in the plant are safe.
We'll have stringent measures to try to make sure that that does not impact on their life, because like any workplace in Fiji, occupational health and safety is critical, and the workers have a duty, they have a responsibility to address OHS and also the employer. There's a duty of care. Water Authority also, Fiji has that duty of care to make sure the workers are kept safe.
Some residents living in and around Kinoya say that the smell from this treatment plant poses a health risk to them and their families.
I have been living here for years, and the smell is really affecting us every morning, especially our kids.
It's really hard for us to work, especially on Tuesdays, because that is when the concentration of the gas is high.
I've been living here for more than 12 years. We're getting used to the smell, but it's affecting our health.
A new Viria water project, which will be built soon, will help lighten the workload for workers at the Kinoya treatment plant. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The recent Climate Action Summit in New York has seen Pacific leaders and climate youth activists present a united front to call for action. This as the fight to stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius becomes more urgent than ever. Eleanor Tarangai View with this report.
Pacific Island leaders have resolved there will be no complacency when it comes to climate change. Small island states will continue to fight for their survival.
So we have done a significant amount already to frame the global climate response, and we intend to do a lot more.
The Climate Action Summit held in New York last week set out 4 targets: carbon neutrality plans by 2050, ways to tackle fossil fuel subsidies, taxing carbon, and no new coal power beyond 2020.
We are not yet ready to believe that we are sinking.
Young Pacific climate warriors came out strong, calling out the climate injustice where the small islands are paying a heavy price for the actions of the bigger emitters.
We need everyone to understand that we must work as a team before it's too late. Speak up. This is our chance.
During the week, the midterm review of the Samoa Pathway found that small island states face significant challenges in accessing sufficient affordable development financing.
Collectively in the Pacific, we thought that the assistance forthcoming has not been enough and too slow and cumbersome.
At the end of the summit, 77 countries committed to cutting emissions to net zero by 2050, and 70 more will enhance their national action plans.
We have less than 3 months until COP25 in Chile in December, and in that time I urge all of us as a group to redouble our efforts to get our message across.
The Pacific Islands region contribute a combined 0.001% of the global greenhouse gas emission. Eleanor Tarangai View, FBC News.
Most of the passengers in an early morning accident involving 2 buses in Nandi have been discharged. FBC can confirm that amongst those discharged were students. It's understood the 2 buses collided head-on after one allegedly failed to negotiate a bend in Carreras. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro says 10 passengers were taken to the Nandi hospital after the accident. British singer-songwriter, record producer and actor Arjun Kumaraswamy is currently in the country for a charity event. The 28-year-old was born in Colombo, Sri Lanka and raised in London. He rose to attention following an R&B cover version of the Tamil song Why This Kolaveridi, which was uploaded to YouTube in December 2011. Arjun is calling on Fijians to come down to the Sheraton Resort and watch his show this Friday.
Should be great. It's my first ever time here. We've had a whole bunch of inquiries for the last 4 or 5 years for shows here. So finally made it all the way to Fiji. It's a long flight from the UK, but it's nice to be here. And we're going to be singing a mixture of Bollywood, some Hindi, some Punjabi, some South Indian music, some English music, you know, a whole bunch of different stuff.
And Kelly joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up after the break. Fiji makes inroad in Europe market. And in growing Fiji, RKS Old Boys embark on new project. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatula Lobak. और हम सब मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot. Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's number one.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है। हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और
Fiji has been able to increase trade in the European market over the last 10 years through the European Union's Economic Partnership Agreement. This was highlighted at the EU-Pacific Trade Seminar held today at the University of the South Pacific. The partnership agreement allows Fiji and 4 other Pacific nations to export products to the European market free of tariffs and quotas. Lina Rees has more.
International trade enables international competitiveness, and Fiji endeavors to increase its international trade to promote our overall integration into the global economy.
The EU has been a traditional market for Fijian sugar. In the recent years, the range of Fiji exports to the European Union has expanded. This includes fish, agricultural products, mineral water, garments, cosmetics that are exported to around 500 million people. Hence, EPA offers opportunities for diversification and strengthening of our economic ties.
Head of the European Union delegation for the Pacific, Sujiro Sim, highlighted that the EU wants to deliver preferential access to businesses in Fiji and the Pacific for trade facilitation through the economic partnership.
But our approach is really to have an open, free and fair trade. Europe is also the first donor worldwide of official development assistance, by far, because Europe provides more than half of the global ODA. Of course, the Pacific benefits from that. But what I would like to say is that beyond aid, beyond development assistance, certainly trade, business and economics is the best engine to create jobs and growth.
The one-day seminar looked at ways that businesses in Fiji and the Pacific have benefited from the EU's Economic Partnership Agreement and ways to increase trade between the Pacific and the European markets. Lina Rees, FBC News.
And Sinifa is here as usual to give us the latest on the money markets.
Let's look at the latest in the forex market. Worries about a slowing U.S. economy and the possibility of further interest rate cuts in the wake of weak U.S. manufacturing data kept the U.S. dollar pinned down today as investors sought safety elsewhere. Data released overnight showed U.S. factory activity fell to 47.8, the lowest reading since June 2009. A figure below 50 signals the domestic factory sector is contracting. The number is a bad omen for September U.S. labor figures due on Friday, since moves are often correlated. The Aussie dollar hit its lowest in a decade yesterday after the Reserve Bank of Australia cut interest rates and kept the possibility of further easing alive. That's all for now from HFC Bank, Vinaka.
Thanks, Sinifa. Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. The Fiji dollar rose against our 2 major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand, but slipped slightly against the other currencies we cover, mostly due to the increased strength of the US dollar. On the commodities market, oil prices dropped slightly but remain above $54 per barrel. Gold recovered some of its drop yesterday to close at $1,478 per ounce, and silver closed up at $17.25 per ounce. In growing Fiji, the construction of a 12-story investment building initiated by the Ratu Kandavulevu School Old Scholars Association will begin soon at Herbert Place in Suva. The $50 million investment project is a beginning to the many projects the association plans to implement in the future. Josiana Nunga with a story.
The Ratu Kandavulevu Old Boys say the investment will enable the association to generate adequate funds for developments at the school as well as the association.
They've been putting money from their pockets to assist our case. So it's a way of us getting more money out of this investment just for the school and our schools.
With work still in its preparatory stages, potential tenants are already showing their interest to rent the property.
We are looking at a 12-story building which currently costs about $50 million. That will take us about 4 years to complete. to complete the property before giving out for rentals. At the moment, we have a list of business houses that's interested in renting there.
President of the New Zealand-Fiji Business Council, Chandra Sen, has commended the investment idea initiated by the association.
Generally speaking, if you have real estate in the correct location, you will attract people who are tenants. You will attract tenants to rent your property, and it's a pretty low risk investment. So absolutely a smart move.
This is the piece of land earmarked by members of the RKS All Scholars Association to develop the Heron State project that will commence soon. Jose Inununga, FBC News.
That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Thanks, Gillian. Good evening in Sports Tonight. Georgia aims to spoil Fiji's 2023 target. And Olympic dream gone for Fiji football. Details after the break.
Navango Maria, Maramani Waya, Manatua Sawa, Wetikutunde Nandi, Yaundo Marataka, Navarro, and Radio Fiji One.
Yawa Asna Vatili, Yawa Maga Monica. Tondo Barro Vale, Bonardoma Viti Lambasa.
Bula, Nadango Prosa Garce, Goer Kraki. Do televizio Navarro na Radio Fiji One, Nadomi Viti.
Nadango Chani Bukia, Omoni Namoshi, and the Talita Navarro na Radio Fiji One.
The Flying Fijians and Georgia match in Pool D of the Rugby World Cup tomorrow is shaping up to be a thriller. Both sides need a win in that match to have any hope of finishing third from the pool and receive automatic qualification for the next World Cup. Aquila Dama has more.
John McKee has named the best possible lineup to face Georgia, and he says creating opportunities is vital.
For us, it's about getting some things right, and then we did some good things in the first game, but we also made a lot of mistakes across both games.
But Georgia, who will field only 4 of the 15 who started in a 33-7 win over Uruguay, will surely come out firing.
To leave the pitch with the pride, to be proud to do everything to win the game, to be in any area 100% and commitment, make commitment 100%.
Fiji's strength is in the back line, but to unleash them, the side needs to get the basics right.
So it's about cutting down our errors, being able to retain the ball for longer periods of time. That's very important for us. But we also look at our attack and creating better opportunities for our good players.
Like McKee, Georgia coach Milton Haig is leading the side to the second World Cup, and he also wants his team to finish third in the pool.
In the long run, I think we've improved. We've qualified automatically for this World Cup. Our aim is to qualify for 2023 automatically. And, what goes on from there, well, then that won't be in my hands. But, again, I think we've made some progress for sure.
Georgia is the first Tier 2 country in Rugby World Cup history to start 3 different captains in a single campaign. They play Fiji at 5:15 p.m. tomorrow. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
There are only 3 current All Blacks who know what it's like to beat Canada. The 2 teams last met 8 years ago at the 2011 World Cup, where New Zealand ran riot with a 79-15 try-fest. And while Canada has not been given much hope of winning against the All Blacks tonight, they've already notched up a tournament first. With the hope of a better finish this year, the Fiji Airways Fijiana side adopted new training strategies in the lead-up to the start of the Women's World 7 Series. Captain Rusila Nangasau says they'll be aiming high at the Glendale tournament this weekend. Sabe Wanga has more.
After losing to Spain in the Challenge Final last year, the Fijiana side has set major goals.
For us, for the first competition, it is a very important one because we want to get points, we want to remain on the top 4.
Nangasau says this is a different team, and this first leg will give players an idea of what to expect from other teams.
We are ready for us going to the first series now. It is the most serious for us. We have to get our expectation really high because of how we were preparing compared to our tournaments last year.
Coach Sayasi Fuli says switching to new tactics in training has helped the side adapt to the game better.
I think that we've changed this year, that we've been playing against men's. So against the Fiji Sevens men's and the combined men's team, we hardly play with the women's because that's one area that we've managed to identify that it's better that we play against male opposition to up our communication level, up our managing the game and also the intensity of the game.
Fiji is pooled with Canada, Australia and Spain in Pool C. They will play their first pool game against Canada at 4:15 a.m. this Sunday in Colorado, USA. Save Wanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Under-23 football side was hammered 6-1 by New Zealand in its semi-final at the OFC Olympic qualifiers in Lautoka today. Along with the loss goes Fiji's chances of featuring in next year's Japan Olympic Games. The Marika Rondu coach side was outplayed from the start, and though the side put in a better performance in the second half, there was no stopping the Kiwis.
We need to just think outside the box. We cannot focus on local football. We need to get our players out wherever it can be, maybe in other Oceania countries or Asia or Europe, but then only we can bridge the gap. So despite some good display of defensive work, some good display of offensive work, but the pressure is always there.
From Stuart Hogg's screamer for Scotland against Samoa to Camille Lopez's game-winning drop goal to put France ahead of Argentina. Now, play of the day is some of the best bits of leg work we've seen so far in Rugby World Cup 2019.
Inside their 22, Dan Biggar. What a start by Wales! 3 points to 0 in just 36 seconds.
Back in the pocket, waiting for it. Lopez.
That's brilliant.
Sensational. Camille Lopez only just arrived on the field. Killer strike. Kushnarev thinking about the drop goal. He's got a good strike on it. He's landed it. Yuri Kushnarev with 3 vital points for Russia to drag them back within a point. The drop goal is back.
That's Jesse Creel, a replacement off the bench. Pollard for the 3 points. Oh, that is superbly struck by Henry Pollard.
Yes, he'll go quickly. Hogg is with him. We've seen this before from Hogg. It's the drop goal! Stuart Hogg! John's back to the halfway line. Get that man a beer!
That's it from sports. Angie joins you later on with weather and the new media after the break. The Auckland Museum out to record the rise in the selfie phenomenon. Stay with us for the details.
रहता है, हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है रेलेवू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है, बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोचक सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोंगो लुगू लटोका, रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2, देश की धड़कन।
Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Isn't sunshine like a hug from heaven, the way it spreads out on everything? Before you know it, the weather will cool down and the sunny spells will be behind us, so enjoy while you can. Now moving to the west, sunshine is galore. There's only one thing you need to do while it's bright: go outside. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, it was comfy with light showers indicated for later tonight. And up north, the weather is sweet with so many things to do. The weather in Taveuni is actually amazing too. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 9:22 p.m. with low tide at 3:45 a.m. Sunrise will be at 5:47. For tomorrow, did you miss out on today's weather and couldn't dry your pickles for Diwali? Then you might have to hold on because we have showers lined up for us. Tomorrow's temperatures, sunshine is not messing around. We can have centers reaching up to 33 degrees rather. Well, that's during midday. And looking further on to Friday, showers are in the picture. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji on Pulse tonight, we asked, can Fiji bounce back from the Uruguay loss and beat Georgia?
I don't think Fiji will win the game because it has gone down to Uruguay, and I don't think Fiji will go over Georgia.
I'm confident that Fiji will win this match.
Fiji will win tomorrow. They lost the last game with Uruguay, but still I support Fiji team.
With what they have achieved so far, I don't think they will win. Also, we need a coach like Ben Ryan.
I know for sure that Fiji will win.
Monday blues is pretty common, but there are some things you can do about it. In the world of the weird and the wonderful, we tell you how to overcome one of the days that is known as the worst in the week. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Education Ministry steps in to salvage school grants, elderly being taken for ride by family members, and previous misdeeds come back to haunt FSC. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week we're asking, is rugby union becoming too reliant on video refereeing? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, we take you to Vesese village in Lautoka for our shot of the day. Alena Koro Vula Vula captured the sunset at the village. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, share it with us via Facebook page FBC News, our Twitter page at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Form. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Osnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm Makereta from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lautoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.